Frankly, I'm getting sick of the reciprocal promotion by YouTube channels these days. So this video being a collaboration isn't really made for you then. Toodaloo. Welcome back. Today, with the help of White Sith Male, we're going to be tackling one of the many reasons why people need feminism.
I need feminism because I don't view equality as a radical concept.
Neither do I.
Nor I.
Why would that require feminism, though? Being egalitarian or a humanist would do the trick too. Feminism does not have monopoly on equality.
Although feminism, or some feminists, do like to push the idea that feminism and equality are mutually exclusive.
I need feminism because I don't want to be paid less for the same job as my coworker.
I feel like the wage gap is going to come up here.
But, my wage gap! You don't get paid less than your coworker, unless of course you work fewer hours, have less education, don't ask for raises as often, or is less productive in general.
So rather than address that, you said I don't want to be paid less than my coworker for doing the same job. Now in the United Kingdom and the United States you have equality laws, anti-discrimination laws. These protect your employees to a certain extent. Equal pay for equal work is one of them, and we're often hearing about the wage gap myth. I'm not addressing that, but the way you phrased your statement implies that you also want to include things like negotiation of contract. A competitive workplace environment isn't exactly a bad thing. It gets the best out of people and keeps the business as productive and potentially profitable as possible. Negotiating a contract to get what's best for you isn't hard, unless you lack the necessary stones. I don't mean testicles, just stones. Now, as I can hear White Sith seething in the background, I'm just going to let him blow off what steam he needs to blow off.
Earnings gap and wage gap are not the same thing. I've done 2 videos on this, and going off on another rant might not be the best course of action here. We've all heard the debunked arguments by now.
I need feminism because I want to be a professional football player.
That was very low.
Yeah, I've tried raising the volume, but if I go any higher, I'm going to end up distorting the young lady's voice.
It sounded like she wanted to be a professional football player.
After taking some time away to listen to that audio 7 times, I can confirm that is exactly what she said.
Why would you need feminism for that?
I would assume to be able to earn the same amount of money as a man does for doing the same job, but I do believe there are many other options which you should probably reel off because I'm far too lazy.
Just try to gather more like-minded people and start a club. If you get enough people, you can form 2 teams. With a bit of media exposure, it could spread to other towns. Otherwise, there is always the IWFL, the Independent Women's Football League, the WFA, the Women's Football Alliance, the USWFL, the United States Women's Football League, and the skimpily clad LFL, Legend Football League. Grrr. Moist.
Because in the US, a woman is raped every 6 seconds.
No! Get your facts right for the love of Jeebus. This is why we don't need feminism. Fact distortion, outright lies, and an unwillingness to see things from a male perspective. First of all, 1 every 6 seconds? That's 10 every minute, 600 every hour, 14,400 every day, and 5,184,000 every year. Now, let's look at the FBI crime stats, shall we? Oh, look, 124,000. Well, they were close. It was just a tad off, right, Omegon?
Totes.
Yeah, they were off by a tiny bit of 5 million fucking rapes.
Yeah, I do wonder if it's supposed to include things like stair rape, or whether they're trying to imply that the number you've just listed are all the unreported cases.
Because I want to be able to travel alone.
Unless you live in a country where it is illegal for a female to travel alone, you're fine. You can, in fact, travel alone. You are free to travel alone.
Do you need feminists' permission to travel alone? I just think I killed some brain cells listening to that.
You might find alcohol is a far safer way of killing brain cells than listening to idiots tell you why they need something that they do not need.
The only place you are not allowed to travel alone as a woman are some parts of the Middle East, and feminism won't help you there.
I need feminism because a stronger and more equal society means more opportunity for everyone.
But it all depends on what type of equality we're talking about here. No one should be passed over for a less qualified person that is a minority or another gender, simply to fill a quota for equality. Best person for the spot gets the job, no matter the color, gender, or sexual orientation, and so forth. That is the most equal society, based on merit and skill.
Rather annoyingly, there are some people who don't believe in the idea of meritocracy. They don't believe your skill is enough. They believe that identity politics should play a part in deciding who gets what job, depending on representation. I personally am not a fan of that.
Because I want access to equal job opportunities in the future.
Equal job opportunities in the future? You have that now. It all depends on what you choose to study.
Or if you decide to throw yourself into a vocational qualification and work while studying, for example, on a construction site, you need to make sure that you are able to balance both work with studying. It all comes down to hard work and dedication, really. You can be whatever you want to be if you're willing to try and put in the effort necessary. Now, of course, if you decide to go down another route entirely, but have an end goal that isn't aligning with the degree you choose to study, you end up with a different problem entirely. For example,
taking gender studies will not make you qualified as an engineer or a doctor. Perhaps she's from a country that does not have equal job opportunities for women. I'm fairly sure that women have the same opportunities as men in the UK. Right, Omegon?
To give you the incredibly short answer, yes. But because I would like to give you an ever so slightly more long-winded answer, we have an Equality Act, we have anti-discrimination laws, we have equal opportunity, but we do not have equal outcome.
I need feminism because there are still girls around the world who don't get a proper education.
Yes, there are girls and boys around the world that do not get a proper education.
Some sources would indicate it's around the 72 million children mark that do not have access to primary school level education, with there still being hundreds of millions of adults that are illiterate or do not have the awareness necessary to improve both their living conditions and those of their children. That is a quote.
Because my gender shouldn't affect my opportunities.
Guess what? It doesn't.
Not even a little.
The only thing your gender hinders you from, in general, are heavy lifting jobs. Men are more suited for these jobs since we have a vastly stronger upper body. That is all I can think of that would hinder you.
Just before we continue, I want to clarify, the word hinder does not mean the same as prevent. White Sith Male said hinder. That does not mean a female is being prevented from doing the same job as a male, only that some will struggle due to the fact that their bodies are proportionately and pound for pound not built to be as strong as a male's.
Because I don't want my gender to be considered as a minority.
The only way that could happen would be if there was a mass genocide of females on the planet, taking you from 50% down to, 10% I guess, or anything significant enough that it would be apparent that you were a minority because there are so many men dominating the world. Now that I've said the truly absurd part, there is a thing called Fisher's Principle. It generally states that, left to nature alone, the population on Earth would be, give or take, 50% men and 50% women. What do you think, White Sith?
Your gender is not a minority. The population is slightly more male than female as a whole.
I need feminism because I'm tired of hearing the phrase, you play like a girl.
Well, don't play like one then. Learn to toss a ball properly or kick a ball properly.
Yeah, with sports, it's kind of one of those things where you learn from your family. So if they've told you sports sports are bad, or they don't teach you to be competitive, or someone doesn't teach you how to do things like throwing. When you try to as an adult and you haven't learnt to already, it doesn't look good. You throw really badly. So you instead go away and you learn. And as you learn, you improve. As you improve, it becomes less and less likely that you're going to be called a girl for the way you play. And yes, I am very much aware that calling someone a girl for the way they play sports not being as good as that of a trained male is a silly insult. But getting women interested in sports is taking considerably longer than most would have hoped.
Personally, I would take it as a challenge, and I would show those bastards that they were wrong, and I would work my ass off to get good at it.
Because I don't want my gender to make choices for me.
But you want feminism to make choices for you instead?
Personally, I was going to say, you may not want your gender to make choices for you, but when elections come around and there is a female running for the highest office, you had all better show up and vote and represent for the sisterhood.
Be your own person, make your own choices, form your life the way you see fit, and make the best of it. You don't need a dogmatic movement to fall in line behind to make your life fulfilling. It's all in your own hands.
Because I want to feel safe.
Yeah, and as I said before with the traveling thing, feminism doesn't keep you safe. All it does is make women feel more afraid than they have to be.
I need feminism because we all need feminism. We all need half the world's population to contribute fully to the development of our society.
You need feminism because we all need feminism? That was a sound point. Oh, God. I hope you have something other than that.
We need everyone to contribute towards developing and improving society, but with such a vast world with so many different cultures and subcultures and communities, I cannot perceive this as something that could be achieved, i.e. developing, improving society under the banner of a movement, especially as earlier mentioned, one as dogmatic as feminism.
You can easily do your part in making our society better without being a feminist. So is what she's saying here that women aren't contributing enough?
It either means that this lady would like a more globalist version of equal opportunity to exist, i.e. the entire world has equal opportunity, and equal representation of course, and equal outcome. Or, and this is the more far-fetched one, she is indicating that women have basically built society and men aren't doing their part to help support it and contribute towards it.
Damn! We need some female contributions in here. Where's our damn sandwich wench?
You know, that's a good question. I'll find out. Oh, sandwich wench. Us men's would like to be fed now. The original to this sandwich making video by Miss Steam is about 3 minutes long and had to cut out a huge piece of it. If you want to go and watch the whole thing though, it's in the description next to the title Sandwich Wench. Feel free to subscribe to Miss Steam as well, she's pretty cool. Now where were we?
We need feminism so that people aren't afraid of the word feminism.
Who's afraid of the word feminism? I'm not. I just revile it for what it has become. There are still some rational feminists out there. Most of them tend to stay in the shadows though, because they hold opinions that does not sit well with the feminist narrative of the movement.
I could not have said it better myself. And with that, we've also reached the end of the video, which somehow we managed to stretch far longer than we should have. Clearly, we are both very long-winded individuals. Please go subscribe to White Sith Male. It has been an absolute pleasure to do this video with him. And thank you all for listening.